Hi, welcome to Cheekyricho Cooking's how to make dumpling skins or wonton wrappers. The ingredients are in the recipe box below. There's two of them, 250 grams of plain flour, 150 grams of boiling water. You can add a bit of salt if you want to, but it isn't necessary because it is going to be cooked in a broth. So we just pour our boiling water in and mix it to a soft dough, and then we're going to knead it for about 10 minutes. You can do it in a stand mixer if you like. Okay, now we want this to completely combine. You can't use your hands for this because the water's boiling, so you have to wait until it's cooled down a bit, and then we're going to make it into a nice soft pliable dough. It'll be sticky to start with, but then it'll stop sticking to your hands and it'll mix right in. Then we're going to have to rest this for about an hour while we make our dumpling filling. Okay, so I'll just tip that out onto a mat now. The reason I'm using a mat is because I'm going to rest it inside that mat. Okay, now it's all holding together now. And this is the boring part. I will just knead it for another about a 10-minute knead or so until it's nice and smooth and elastic. Okay, so we've been kneading for almost 10 minutes now and it's not sticky at all. We're going to roll it into a ball and put it aside for an hour to rest. There's our timer. We'll just make it into a round ball. Okay, and wrap it up and rest it. Now you're going to need some potato starch or some cornstarch to roll that out. Don't use normal flour. Okay, our dough has been resting in the fridge. We took it out, allowed it to come to room temperature, and now I'm going to show you how to work with it. So just poke a hole in the center of it and make that donut bigger, okay? Just keep squeezing it around, and we're going to cut it with a baker's helper. Squeeze it around. We want to get about 30 pieces out of this amount of dough, and so we're going to just cut this into 3, and that'll give us something a lot easier to work with. Don't use anything sharp on your baker's mat because you'll cut it. 1. Okay, so just roll these out into a sausage like so, spreading the dough with your hands as you go, okay, because we want to get about 10 pieces out of each one of these. Okay, it's not sticky at all, as you can see, and now we're just going to cut it into pieces. Try and have them all about the same size if you can. Okay, and just put those over there to one side while we do the rest. They can't even stick to each other. They're that relaxed. And we have a little pile of them. Now, we are using potato flour, and I use this a lot. You can now buy it in most supermarkets, and if you can't get it, just use cornstarch. But what we're going to do is smear this all out, okay? Press our little dudes out sort of flat, and we're going to roll them. Now, roll them out so that they are thicker in the center than they are at the edge, okay? They start off with a round one, better, okay? Roll those into a round, and then just press it down, and then we're just going to roll it out, leaving a thicker portion in the center. Now, the reason we do that is when you gather it all up, the thin bits will get thicker because they're going to be gathered, and the part in the center is better off to be a bit thicker because it's got to hold your filling. Now, have a bit of a practice with these to start with, and you can see they're really quite thin, okay, but they're a little bit thicker in the center. Now, I went to buy these in the supermarket the other day because they are very cheap to buy, and they didn't have any. So if you've got your heart set on getting some and there aren't any available, they're so simple to make. Okay, now brush them off. Leave that bit of potato flour on at the moment because that's going to stop the next ones from sticking to it. And as you get more proficient, you can make them 2 or even 3 at a time. So just flatten them out with the heel of your hand. Make sure there's plenty of potato flour in between. Okay, now I do this with my Peking duck pancakes as well, and it's just a bit quicker. Okay, make sure you've always got plenty of starch in between. Okay, and that's what you should have. Okay, I put them to one side and continue with the rest. Okay, now if you've done this right, your pile of wontons should be thicker in the middle. Do you see that? It's actually got a hump. Can you see that? Whoa, they're slippery. A hump in the middle. That means that they're thinner on the edges and thicker in the center, and that's exactly what we want. Now, if you've got them and they're not quite a round shape, as you're rolling it, push it into that round shape. Okay? Take it from the lump in the center and keep heading out till you get that nice round Gow Gee type shape. Okay, all right. Out from the center, all the way around. And like thin cardboard, but you can just see there's a little lump there, okay? And that's where the bottom's going to be. Alrighty, I'm just using, this is a new broomstick that Richo cut up. I was a bit disappointed when he first did that, but then I thought, well, I'll be able to park in smaller places now, so I'm not too worried about it. Alrighty, some of these are smaller without the little lump in the middle, and I'm going to be using these in the pie maker. So the big ones for one thing and the little ones for something else. Okay, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed our little cooking demonstration on how to make Gow Gee or dumpling skins or dumpling wrappers. When you go to use them, just brush this excess potato starch off so that it doesn't get gluggy or make your soup go a bit thicker than you want, if that's what you're using it for. And you can use these with a lovely dipping sauce and whatever filling that you like, okay? These will freeze well too if you've got plenty of starch in between them, and put them into a Ziploc bag. Every 5 or so I just put a little piece of cling film or something in between it to make sure that it doesn't stick to each other. But these are really quite flat and these have got a big hump on them, okay?